Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member Lofgren, for holding this hearing. Director Kratsios, it's good to have you back before the committee. It is critical that small and medium-sized manufacturers are able to adopt technologies into their processes. This keeps American manufacturing competitive and at the cutting edge. Yesterday, you released a report in which you highlighted bipartisan manufacturing programs, and you specifically mentioned the Manufacturing Extension Partnership Program as essential to this process. Meanwhile, the president's budget has proposed slashing the Manufacturing Extension Partnership Program for 2 years in a row. So I'm curious, is the administration reversing its position on MEPs?
It's something that we talk about certainly in the Golden Age Report as philosophically something that very much aligns with the tenets of the report. I look forward to going into the 28 budget cycle and working with OMB and with NIST to try to find ways that those types of programs do find some funding, because I think it's critically important for the future of manufacturing.
Well, I'm glad to hear your commitment and interest in that, and certainly I hope we can continue to all work in a bipartisan fashion in support of programs like the Manufacturing Extension Partnership that have brought economic activity and jobs to Delaware and to states across the country. Last time you sat in that chair, we discussed the impact that rapidly expanding data centers have on our communities, including increased energy and water demand. This fear is not theoretical, and Delaware families are paying $18.79 per kilowatt hour today, up from $17.97 last year, squeezing budgets and forcing Americans to make hard decisions. That day, you said President Trump supports the idea that technology companies should pay the costs that come with data centers they bring online. You also said you hope data center operators and semiconductor manufacturers would be incentivized by the free market to become more efficient. Since then, you have said that, quote, American AI leadership should never come at the cost of Americans' ability to pay their electricity bills. I agree, and President Trump also touted the Ratepayer Protection Pledge, a voluntary agreement for companies to build, bring, or buy energy for their data centers. Now, I know you answered some questions earlier on this particular topic, but you mentioned before in one of my colleagues' questions, in one of your answers to one of my colleagues' questions, that you don't keep track of compliance when it comes to the Ratepayer Protection Pledge. Who does?
I'll have to get back to you on that. I think the National Energy Dominance Council of the White House is a primary sort of hub for our energy efforts at the White House.
And I'd like a little bit more clarity on how the administration's going to, or is already holding companies accountable if they violate the pledge. Obviously, it's voluntary, but we want to see adoption of it. What will the administration do? Is the president going to dictate and strong-arm companies into compliance like China does?
I think what we're seeing is that most of these companies are extremely incentivized to not only follow the letter of the pledge, but do even more. I think for them to be able to get the support of the local communities in order to actually build them, really sort of substantial commitments have to be made. I mean, we've seen in communities across the country where data center operators have agreed essentially to cover property tax for 5 or 6 years in order for the data center to be built. We've seen sort of dramatic commitments on sort of education spending and teacher salary increases. So to me, I think, I almost see, it's almost like what the Ratepayer Protection Pledge is table stakes, because I think a lot of these communities require even more, and that's what they're looking for from these data center providers.
But what happens if they aren't abiding by what the community wants, or what, frankly, local jurisdictions or state governments require, what the pledge seeks to facilitate and push for? What happens if they don't?
As a tech policy coordination office at the White House, I'm not a sort of an enforcement body, but I kind of do go back to what I said before. I think those business models are not sustainable if the communities themselves don't want them there. And I think what we're seeing is that in order for these data centers to be built, the pretty significant and material concessions have to be made to the citizens of that area. And I think many times it's to the great benefit of them. I think, as I mentioned, there's communities out there where literally people don't pay property tax.
Just one quick follow-up question. One thing we talked about last time was the opportunities with technologies to diminish the energy and water needs, liquid cooling technologies. Do you have an update on the administration's approach to investing in those types of technologies?
I'll have to get back to you on that, but I I agree with you yet a second time that we should be doing that.
Great.
Gentleman's time's expired. Thank you. I'd like to recognize the gentleman from Utah, Dr. Ken.